Uh, this is, when you think about all your fun moments in your career, something that I maybe forgot, but as soon as I read this question, I laughed. Trisket585 over on YouTube had a great question. What inspired you to plug Skittles the way you did? It always tickled me every time I heard it on Raw. Man, you really did turn up the volume and hammer that read for Skittles. Was that a specific instruction or did it just become the JR way? Did
Oh,
anybody else get tickled as we did?
there's an ad lib. There's an ad lib, and the Skittles people loved it.
I'm sure.
So uh, I can't tell you how many boxes of Skittles I got over my career. I could have I could have supplied snacks for a children's home.
No doubt.
Tremendous, but it was an ad lib, Connie. It was a weekly sponsor, and you wanted to give it a little personality, so forth and so on. So that's what I did. It was strictly an ad lib. Sometimes those ad libs work, and sometimes they don't. This one happened to work.
Great question here from Danny Archer, 7137 over on YouTube. Who in AEW do you think would have had the best chance of success in Mid South Wrestling as a babyface? I can see MJF as a perfect territory heel, but who could have been the best babyface in that era under Bill Watt?
Oh, probably Darby. Darby Allen, undersized, courageous, never quit, etc., etc. But he'd be one of them for sure. There are others, but Darby jumps out real quick at me on answering that question. He knows how to get over, and he can't see through his bullshit. He's willing to put his body on a severe enough line that it can't be ignored. And getting a great heel that knows how to get heat, work a body part, and torture somebody, hurt somebody in the performance art theory is another blessing. MJF would fit that bill, no doubt. But so would Darby. And I just think people love Darby because he has that never quit, relentless. I think he's got a tattoo on his body that says relentless, relentless attitude. As you can tell, I'm a big Darby fan, big time.
How could you not be? AJ Blair 1616 says, JR, what guys do you see in AEW make a big jump up the cards? Starks, Hobbs, someone else? Well, let's talk about that. Sort of the next great generation. I think Hobbs has been a TNT champ. I think Starks has been a tag champ. Is
Yeah,
there anybody else you see making that leap up the card, or do you see one of those guys in the main event mix?
probably Wardlow would be somebody I would consider putting on that list. Big, talented, athletic, got great size, great look. You notice him when he walks through an airport type thing. So Wardlow would be somebody that would go on that list for me very quickly. I love. I think that with consistent storytelling and in-ring performance, that powerhouse Hobbs has a very bright future. He looks great, good attitude, tries hard, wants to be a star, and he's reliable, which is very important. He's a reliable man who was raised right. So, but Wardlow would be on that list, Connie. He's too good to pass over.
Archer HHS says, "What is your favorite year in wrestling history?" That's something that fans talk about a lot. Their most important year as a fan. When you think about your time as a fan, not inside the business, because I'm sure when you're just making towns every week, it all kind of runs together eventually. But was there in your fandom, like in mine, it's 89 and 97. Do you have a favorite year as your fandom where you think, man, that's when it really happened for me and I just couldn't get enough of this stuff?
Yeah, mine would be earlier than that because of the age difference in you and
Sure.
I.
Sure.
Uh, I remember sitting home watching Channel 6. At that time, it was a CBS affiliate, if I'm not mistaken, in Tulsa. Saturday afternoons at 4 o'clock, they had 1 hour of wrestling. And they shot their big angle featuring the Kentuckians, Grizzly Smith and Luke Brown, versus the Assassins, uh, Tom Ernesto and Joe Hamilton. They shot their big angle. And the big angle was getting color on television the hard way. And it was a mess. And the announcer, Danny Williams, who coined the phrase "watch out for flying chairs," didn't believe it was real. But when he got to the cut and pulled it open, it was grotesque. So, but I can't remember what. I think Grizzly's the one that got the hard way. Grizzly was the one that was bleeding. And but that, I don't say it marked me, but it made an impact on me that I still haven't gotten over. It was just a visual, so real. I didn't have to roll my eyes to process what I was seeing. It was real in my mind, and I could identify. Every kid can identify with a little blood or a little scrape here, there, and yon. Now, this is much more than that. This is a bloodbath, and it was too much. And they almost lost their television over it just before they went into one of the busiest seasons that they ever had and busiest runs. There was a picture in our office there in Tulsa, taking way up high in the nosebleeds of the arena being packed, sold out. It was pretty amazing. And they ran the Tulsa Assembly Center at that time. It's been replaced long ago. But it was really a unique thing to see that sellout crowd and how they responded. That program did nothing but draw money. And the irony of it is, and one of the blessings of a territory where you have limited television exposure, is the fact that these guys took that match on the road and drew money with it everywhere they went. They just repeated the formula. And by the time they got to, say, the Carolinas, which is known as the major money drawing tag team territory, that they, they had the act down. They had it down. And that's where you bring a guy in, like Watts, for example. He liked the talents helping structure their own creative. Because if they had a personal investment in it, because of their egos, they were less likely to allow it to fail. Extra work, extra mileage, let's do more. So, but those guys, that's what stands out in my mind. That hard way angle, it was absolutely amazing. And then another one was same four guys. I can't remember if it was Joe or Ernesto got the color on the other side of their mask, and that was a graphic that was not easily forgotten. So realism has always been my weakness. I wasn't going to not miss that show for nothing in the world because they were doing real things that I could identify with to some degree. So it was pretty cool, very cool. It's funny how that stuff just pops back in your mind too, Conrad.
It is. It's a nice little memory jogger.